Welcome back to the Warriors Den, everybody. I wanted to start right off by announcing our very special guest that we have on the show this week, Mr. Yves Guillemot. And Yves has laryngitis. He won't be talking, unfortunately. He's saving his voice for the big shareholders meeting tomorrow.
He's our new hero in the game.
Yes, we're happy to have him here. But yes, look at Damien and I representing.
Yeah,
the
we try to wear the same shirt.
We always dress the same.
Yeah.
But welcome back to the
when
show.
you wear shorts.
Next time.
I don't do that during
Next
streams.
time. You wear shorts when you run marathons, though?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. The Montreal Marathon was just canceled. He was planning to run it this very weekend, right?
I'm very sad.
Oof. We'll find something else for you to do.
Yeah, I would play some.
We're in Quebec, you can go skiing or something. It's the same muscles. We have a shorter show for you today. We don't have any big announcements to make, but as always, thank you for joining us. And Damien, thank you for joining. And we'll have Roman in a little bit. We'll answer some questions, check out some funny videos.
Roman is back.
He's back from jolly old England. Cool. So one big thing you should know if you don't already, if you're a PC player, our current public test is now available. You can play the tribute mode that we showed off on the show last week. If you missed that show, go back and watch it. We went in depth on the feature with the designers of the feature. And now you can play it yourself for the whole weekend until Monday or so. Yes, Monday. And we want all the feedback. We're already getting some, which is great. You were just, before we started, he was on Reddit reading the feedback already. So if you want to give us feedback on tribute mode, and we need it, go to reddit.com/r/forhonorpts, all one word, forhonorpts.
Yeah.
And give us all the feedback and play it. It's super fun. I'm a big fan of the mode. So let us know how to make that as good as possible.
Yeah.
English isn't my first language.
No, me neither.
I had a fun fact about the PTS I wanted to share. One of our designers pulled me aside, and he let me know on the PTS for the first time, you'll start to see level 3 bots spawning, like when people drop out of matches or if you need bots on your team. Previously, it had only ever gone up to level 2, and people are kind of complaining they're not high in skill enough. So you're going to start to see that in the PTS. If you like it or don't, give us feedback on that as well, because I know that's something that I've seen a few times in the community, people asking for
that.
So check it out. Cool. This weekend, we've got another one of the delightful event orders that your team kind of works on. Want to tell us about it?
Yeah, it's a dual order.
Got an image, I think, Max. Yep.
Yeah, so you need to play dual matches with any hero and perform executions, which is pretty easy in duel. Nobody bothers you when you try to execute someone. The reward is, as usual, 2,000 steel, which is pretty great.
Yes, it's a good way to get some extra money.
Buy that amazing mythic outfit.
Yes, but actually, before we get into that, I had one note for myself I didn't share with you. I want to give a shout out to our friends Pascal and Luke. They're not here with us today because they are currently, right now as we speak, traveling to New York City to attend the Mixer New York City Studios finals of their tournament that they've been doing. There's a $1,000 cash prize. You can watch it live today, mixer.com/Microsoft Store.
That's cool.
So they're going to go attend that, check out the festivities, and I don't know if they're going to spend a day with Luc Duchesne, add that to the prize pool. We'll see. But I'll be interested to check that out. They put together actually really good shows down there, which is cool. Great commentators and all that. So shout out to them. Check that out. And yes, as Damien mentioned, the new content of the week I am very psyched about. You probably are too, as a samurai.
As a samurai, I'm very happy.
Maybe some of you have already seen it because it went live a couple hours ago, but let's roll the video to check out the new mythic outfits. Then we'll be back with Roman and answer some questions. Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah.
Should have worn your Dragon.
yeah.
We are Dragon Ball shirt. That's 15,000 steel each if you're looking. And they should have called Loki's dream Bone Storm. But I'm not the writer
No.
yet.
Hopefully.
Someday, Roman, you'll see. So Roman's here, welcome. And we barely have him in the shot. If we could get him in the camera.
Come closer
It's
to
like-
me.
No.
No.
Can you-
wanna?
We could also just adjust the camera. Might be better, rather than making these guys hug. Welcome back from your trip
This way
to
we see
England.
better Eve.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's all. It's all
Much
better. But see, when Roman leans back, it makes me seem giant. So now I've got to lean back, and now Damien seems giant. Great. It's all very natural, this show. So we.
Hey man, you don't have to put a couch if we can sit on it.
It's a bad couch. It's a terrible couch. It's a lounging couch. Welcome back from England. How was your trip?
Really cool.
Do you want to talk about what you were doing there?
Not that much rain. I don't know if I have the right to do
I
it.
don't know if he's allowed to. It was for honor related. A visit with the Queen. So
Speaking about night.
we haven't answered a lot of your questions from around the Reddits and forums for a while because people have been on vacation or traveling. So I gathered a few today to answer, and maybe our friend Seb might grab some more from the chat. Send an FU Seb if you're in the chat. He's filling in for Pascal. He's much nicer than Pascal.
And he's bald.
He is also bald.
So he's a nice
He's
guy.
part of the gang.
Cool. So let's get into it. And I apologize up front. I don't have the names of everyone that we got questions for. So if you asked the question, kudos to you. All right. Roman, give us the status of the defense meta fixes. When are players getting more?
So last workshop, when was it? 3 weeks ago. We made, we had an evolution of the build that was live on the PTS with a lot of fixes, improvements, some different stuff, etc. And the players played it. The players that were there played it, and we got a lot of interesting feedback. They like some of those stuff, so we are currently polishing that, and more should arrive really soon on that.
Cool.
Like no HP regen, some more dangerous thing when you're out of stamina, and this kind of thing.
Cool. And I think we've said previously that our aim was to hit season 4
Yes,
with that. So I think
exactly.
that's still the
And that's still the
timeline.
still the timeline, yes.
cool. So more on that in the coming weeks.
But we're still
folks.
on track for season 4.
Yeah, yeah, and we had good feedback on that, so that'll be cool. And I know that we've talked about this before, because I think one of the reasons people want to know about that is they're just interested in it in general. The other reason is some people are wondering, well, if they're working on defense meta, they're not going to work on any of the other characters, and I don't know if you just wanted to mention, even before the defensive meta stuff that you just mentioned goes out, we'll have some more balance changes
Yes.
very soon.
Yeah.
We'll actually be talking about that next week on the show when we go over our next patch notes.
Yeah, over on that TU.
Yes. So stay tuned for that, folks. Okay. Here's a question we got on the forums. Does the anti-runaway mechanic still apply if lock-unlock on enemy is activated? So I think someone found
An exploit in
An
it.
exploit
So
or a
apparently
bug.
there might be a bug.
Yep.
So currently our programmer are checking it, so
Yep.
it should be fixed really.
Yeah, what they told me was if they can confirm it's a bug, the fix actually shouldn't be too complicated, which is always good. Always good to hear. And I want to answer this one just because people on Reddit in particular. When is the Conqueror Ra coming back? So it is coming back in our next patch, which I just mentioned we're reading the patch notes on next week. Patch is not releasing next week, but we'll get into the patch notes next week. But it is coming back in the next patch. And not just that, I thought I would read the other ones, the other emotes that were reverted or fixed in addition to Conqueror. So we've got Conqueror Ra. The Centurion's ho-ho has been improved by removing the second ho-ho voice. The Lawbringer has been fixed. The voice was re-edited on the emote. It might not be the same as the original, but he can spam it. It's not. It's the voice is no longer just towards the end of the emote. The Raiders air hump. The second voice is removed, so that, again, it's spammable again. And the Orochi's spam has also been fixed. The Orochi mail spam has been fixed. So
Amazing.
there you go. I've been getting a lot of those questions, so I'm glad we have finally got some answers for you. So that'll be in the next patch. Stay tuned. Roman,
Yes.
the famous flicker bug, when's that going to be fixed?
So should be fixed in next year. So
Next patch.
we'll have confirmation of that next week.
Cool. Yeah, we'll have more details on what that actually means for it to be fixed, because we've talked about that in the past.
Yeah.
The version that we had on the PTS didn't actually it fixed it, but it also caused other things, so they did more work
So
on it.
we polished it. We tested it again with in the workshop with the guys. We
Cool.
think we have a correct version of that. So soon
Great.
should be next batch.
This one's a Damien one. Some people
Yay.
have noticed. Yes, you get to be useful now. Some people have noticed when we did our Warriors Den before Season 3 with Christian and Andrew, they showed off all the season's assets, which was really popular and
Yeah.
successful. People liked it. But in fact, they showed some Claymore sets and maybe a couple ornaments as well that were shown but are not in the game. What's up?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
So they showed unfinished work.
Oh.
And that's bad. So we are. So it means it will come. Some of them. I don't know if everything that you just said will be, but some of them we should be ready for next season.
Right. So in fact, they were shown a bit early.
Yeah, too early.
Because they're so cool looking, they wanted to show them early. So sorry about that, guys. It's a little glimpse of the future of what's coming for the Highlanders gear. Another Damien one. When do the Highlander and Gladiator, why do the Highlander and Gladiator not have tournament rewards?
Because they don't deserve it.
Wow.
No, it's a mistake on our part, and it's also fixed for the next patch.
Great. Fixed in the next patch, he says. Let's see. Here's another one. Actually, I've been surprised at the amount of
That's a good
people
question.
asking, asking about the store bundles.
Yeah.
What's the deal with store bundles? Why'd they go away? What's happening?
So store bundles is the idea where we allow you to unlock with steel an item on several heroes at once. So this way it's cheaper than if you unlock it one by one. And it also takes into account what you've already unlocked. So the price of the bundle in the store is dynamic and adapts automatically to what you have or you don't have. So if, for example, you have the 3 other items, the remaining one will be cheaper. So it's really interesting. Thank you, Roman. And so what's happening about that? We didn't update it recently the bundles with the last mythic outfits or with the last because it's taking a lot of time to produce those assets and things like that. But it's something we're working on in the past weeks, and we'd like to introduce new bundles, do new stuff in the store. And so I don't know when it will be ready, but the plan is to have some new bundles not too far away in the store. Most probably during season 4.
And they're, it sounds like a bit of a rework in terms of the strategy for bundling.
So we try to do different bundles. So here right now the bundles are based on multi-hero bundles.
Right.
And now we'd like to do multi-items on one hero.
Cool.
So like you have, I don't know, an execution, an outfit, and an emote. That are already released or that will be released in the future, all packed in one bundle if you want to get all of those at once.
To me as a player, that makes a little more sense. I would rather go for that than getting stuff for characters that I don't play as. So cool.
You should
we'll
play
see.
Several characters.
Well, I am a terrible, terrible person, so we'll see what happens there. Thank you for that. This is Roman 1. The lag compensation system. How long will it take to implement, and what kind of system are we getting? From She on Reddit.
So we're currently working on it. Same thing. with the last workshop.
Yeah.
We had a first implementation of that working. Yep. We made some adjustments with the guy, let them play a different version of it with different amount of compensation.
Right.
So
figure out where the sweet spot
exactly.
was.
So we worked with them on that. We think we have a good proposal.
Yep.
A strong solution on that. No, it takes a little bit more time to deploy. It's not that simple. It needs to be deployed across all characters, etc. So definitely working on it.
Cool.
It's gonna come. Might not be before the end of that season.
Yeah, we're still working on it basically, so it's not fixed yet.
But thanks to those guys who came out for helping us kind of zero in on a direction. As always, very.
What was also interesting was to figure what's the average level of lag that they get versus what we define as the average level of lag when we develop, and having an exchange on that and defining what is the correct spot and show how much compensation we should give. That was really interesting.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Why this is King Me 42. Why can't we use the PTS to test character balance patches before implementing them live? Wow. Good answer.
No, it's because the PTS, it's every time we do a PTS, it's like deploying a new build of the game. So it's not like an environment that is constantly living, that we can just slightly patch. It requires to recreate a complete new environment, a complete new build, fully test that and deploy that. So it's not something that can be done in a short amount of time. Yeah. So it's definitely something for big rework that we are doing on Kensei or Conquer or this type of things. That is something that we are considering using for slight balance element, like when it's just tweaking numbers or this kind of thing. I don't think we will use it in the future, unless at the moment we do a PTS, that element is also ready, so we can push it in
at the same time.
Yeah. But that would basically delay everything by weeks, etc. Yeah. We have other tools that we're using to test those elements, and that we also want to improve, like get maybe more community feedback just on what we want to do beforehand, as an example.
Yeah. I wanted to ask that because I think it's always helpful to be able to provide people more insight into how production works, just because it would be great to do that. I don't think any of us disagree. It's almost like doing a little beta every time we do a public test. So it is a lot of kind of production work to create that new build, and like when we're also working on new patches.
But it's definitely something that in the future we would like to be able to do every time.
Absolutely.
And so as we evolve our pipelines, etc., that's something that we're considering. Currently, we are not ready to do that. We don't have the bandwidth in terms of workforce to do it at the moment, but yes. And
I know people always ask, because we're doing another PTS right now, why is it PC only? We're still working on trying to do a PTS for everybody on all of our platforms, so stay tuned for the future there. That is also a lot more work because it involves submissions for first parties and all that, so we'll see what we can do. But we would love to include as many people as possible.
It's always a balance between how agile do you want to be with this modification and how long can you take to actually deploy it, etc. Right. It's that constant balance. And for big changes, like new game modes, modification on the meta of the game, etc., it's definitely worth it taking all that time to develop all those elements, etc. Sometimes it's not worth the sheer amount of time that it takes to build that.
Right. Cool. Damian.
Yes.
So you spoke last week.
Yeah, I think so.
I can't keep track of time.
Every week.
Every week you speak. We talked about redistributing the ranking in tournaments. Yeah. And we were hoping you could give us an update on that.
Yeah, so I think we did that 1 or 2 weeks ago. So now we have data.
Data. Damian's data world.
So my world is great. even when there is no marathon.
Yeah.
So as we said, we had an issue where we had like almost 75% of the population that were gold in the dual ranking. So we redistributed everybody. It went pretty well, and now the results. Everybody. And now the results are that we have 13% of the population playing ranked that is ranked bronze. We have 23% of the population that is ranked silver, 33 that is ranked gold, which is better than what we thought it would be.
Yeah,
so we're very happy
great.
about that. 23% platinum, which is also better because we were afraid that it would go up to 25, and 9% diamond.
Yep, great.
So that's pretty cool. Pretty happy about that. So it means that normally it should be easier to find people to play against.
Great.
And to rank yourself and to rank up or rank down. But again, if you have issues, feedback on that, please send those to us, because we're looking at that very closely.
Cool.
We want to optimize as much as we can the dual tournaments.
Cool. And we'll have more updates on the future of ranked mode as we move towards season 4 and all that.
Yes.
And see
Yeah.
where that's
And
going.
ranking for 4v4 stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. This is a good one. This is also from KingMe42 on Reddit. Are there plans for future 2v2 map variants with a greater focus on suggesting a 2v2 over, oh my god, a 2v2 over times 2 1v1s?
So yes, we're in the next patch.
Yeah.
We're actually modifying a lot of the brawl maps in order to have more 2v2 and less 2 1v1 confrontations.
Yeah, so we were, before I even saw this question, we were already planning for next week's show to have Ed on. We had him on last season to show you his reworks of the dual map, so he's done the same idea with the brawl maps. So he'll be on the show next week to show you those reworked brawl maps, so get psyched for that.
That's cool.
And very quick one, when is Gladiator's Dodge going to be fixed?
Same thing next patch.
Boom. And let's see what we got up here. Junkie XL, good band. Will it ever be possible to add engraving on your weapon? Like, do you think he means custom engraving?
Yeah,
like, that'd be cool.
So for the moment, customization for a weapon is really based on which part you loot. So that's why we don't have engraving, or we don't have material change or stuff like that, because it's not designed, even technically it's not designed like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we have some interesting ideas for engravings. That
Very mysterious.
That we're investigating for next season.
Wow.
And I think people will like it.
All right. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Seb, do you see any other good questions?
No, he's saying only bad questions.
Yeah.
That's weird.
All right, everyone throw an F you, Seb, in the chat. And we will roll with the show into our community corner. Let's check them out. So I actually added one here in pen that you don't have on your run of show, but we grabbed this right before the show started. Someone, actually Fred's in the chat, shout out to Fred. Fred sent this to me. Super awesome performance from Peacekeeper. It's called Can't Hold Out Forever by Zusuru.
Should have cleared B, huh? Shit. Get off me. Nice parry. Uh-oh. I'm dead now.
Super impressive.
Yeah,
That's
He's
fucking
really
awesome.
good.
Yeah.
Shout out to Zusuru. Okay, next one. Another video. This is by Arcrasis on Reddit. And they say that the Juggernaut feat is worthless. Do they say that? Anyway, let's check it out. We have a question, Damial, from Fawn Slayer. Is ranked distribution a cross-platform thing like Faction Wars?
Yes, it is. We have one distribution, but you're only playing against people from your platform.
Right.
And you're also only playing against players from your continent. So it's differing between platform, the distribution. Here I set the distribution for all platform. The design is the same everywhere, but then we don't have the same distribution on each platform and on each continent.
Oh, okay. So in fact, it is different.
Yeah, it's the same.
So you're looking at the
it's the same
overall,
brackets, but the spread is not the same because you can have more bronze in whatever part of the world than so.
Got it.
Or I don't know, a gold guy on PC can be much better than a gold person on PS4, something like that,
Right.
or on PC on another continent. So it's
Cool.
it's spread also between platforms and continent.
Cool.
Okamina the ninja.
Okamina, the ninja.
Can I say
Fun
it too?
again. Can you put back the time snap? I know that it caused many improvements about bug and connection issue, but assassins have no very fast light. So like we said, we won't put back the time snap. And we are doing a lag compensation.
Yeah, so when we were talking about that.
To improve when you have your opponent is lagging or yourself are lagging, and we remove the time snap not because of connection issues or bug, but because of reactivity and to have a more cohesive experience. Time snap was creating a lot of inconsistency in terms of when you were seeing an action, and those there are still some inconsistencies
Right now.
today at the moment, and because of the lag, and that's why we're doing a lag compensation feature.
Right. So when we talked about that a few minutes ago in the Q&A section, we should have mentioned,
Yeah.
saying what we're doing for lag compensation, that is because of the time snap issue. So.
Because
Yeah.
the time snap was had a built-in lag compensation of 100 milliseconds that got removed when we removed the time snap. So we don't want to put it back because of all the bullshit stuff that it's creating, but we are creating a real lag compensation feature that will improve all of those problematics.
Cool. All right, back to the community corner. Kyre29, this is a GIF. When the enemy thinks it's just a friendly dance-off. This is pretty evil stuff by this conqueror. Get some dancing and blow it up.
That's
I
classic.
guess it's a strategy.
It's classic.
It's classic. Yes.
It's cool. Always satisfying.
Coming from a conqueror, that doesn't surprise me.
Wow. Wow. Shade. Another GIF from Uncircled Swag. It's that easy sometimes.
Yeah.
We have a few clips this week with people falling to their deaths. Oh, I really wanted the third.
I think this guy
yeah.
seen both of his friends dying.
Yeah,
So.
I really wanted that third guy.
Yeah.
Too
You
bad
are like,
that the third guy
The
didn't.
rule of
maybe not.
threes, but he's smart enough not to try. Yes, be careful with your death from above jumps there.
Nope.
All right, next from Dab for Daubeny, one of my favorites. Another GIF. Knocked some sense. Oh my God, this is a pun. Knocked some sense, C-E-N-T-S, into these gankers. Knocked some sense into them. Just a simple double ledge there. And the pun, knocked some sense. Great. Okay, well now we have a video from Dragon of Ash from Reddit. Beware of falling wardens. Another death.
Thank you.
Victory!
That wasn't very
Good reaction times. All right. Oh, okay. Our friend Setback, who I got to meet, and we all get to meet at PAX. Big fan of the Faction War, Setback, probably in the chat right now. So he actually did a daily Faction War forecast. I don't know if he's done more than one to truly make it daily, but here's his daily Faction War forecast.
Okay, so this is the Faction War forecast portion of the stream. So appreciate you all stopping in. We're just going to take a quick overview of the Faction War and all of its intricacies. The current state of the Faction War, in fact. Thanks all for tuning in. So, what you guys see over here, guys, is we have it's right here. We have a low pressure front coming in from the Viking territory right here. Okay. Now you can see that the night front is actually edging up towards there, but the cold weather is still keeping the knights at bay. Armor, not the greatest in cold weather, not the greatest. Okay. Over here, you have a mixed front right here. And you see it's actually perfectly aligned with the boundaries of the samurai and the Vikings, okay? So you'll notice that the weather and the Faction War fronts, they often align. Keep that in mind, And so then our current temperatures here in the Viking area, up top above me. Right there. It's going to be a brisk 12 degrees Celsius, 53 degrees Fahrenheit. And then, of course, our good friend Mr. Volcano. Right here. Very warm at the volcano. Very warm. 95 degrees Fahrenheit, 35 degrees Celsius, okay? So keep that in mind when you're planning a trip to the volcano. If you're going to be deploying your assets there, make sure you hydrate them properly. You do not suffer from heat stroke. This has been your daily Faction War forecast. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you, Setback. I hope you keep that to a daily cadence because I want to see it. I want to see it every day. You commit to that joke and you do it every day.
Volcano would be always hot.
Maybe. I've been to some volcanoes that are not hot.
Yeah, in
They're
France
not
we're
active.
not that
Yeah.
hot.
They're not blowing up. They're basically mountains. That's basically.
Old mountains.
Yes, old
Yeah.
or new. As far as mountains go, a volcano.
It depends. Okay, let's talk about
Tune in
that.
to our geology podcast that we're going to start doing every week.
Okay.
We have one video left. This is from the great Flukerson. This guy makes great videos. You will love this because it is about a Kensei. It's called Kensei Can Slay.
The more you look like a samurai, the better your chances of survival. my Buddha.
Settle the score, rubber fire screams into the night. Crash and burn is what you're gonna do. I am the master of the asphalt fight. They all said I'd best give it up. What a fool to believe their lies. Now they've fallen, I'm at the top. Are you ready now to die? I came out from the bottom and into the top. For the first time I feel alive. I can fly like an eagle, strike like a hawk. Do you think you can survive? I came out from the bottom and into the top. For the first time I feel alive. I can fly like an eagle, strike like a hawk. Do you think you can survive? The top.
Recite your death haiku before it's too late.
What were you thinking telling me to change my game? This style wasn't going anywhere. It was kaput. Don't you see what I've done with this place? This whole thing? Don't you see that I've changed the game? No, I am the game. Before I knew where this was going, I would listen to you. Right now, I distance myself from whatever you have to say. I made this something way bigger than you were ever gonna be. I made it this far, and I'm taking it to the top.
I came out from the bottom and into the top. For the first time I feel alive. I can fly like an eagle, strike like a hawk. Do you think you can survive? I came out from the bottom and into the top. For the first time I feel alive. I can fly like an eagle, strike like a hawk. Do you think you can survive? The top.
He's
Thank you,
slightly better than me.
Flukerson.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give you
okay.
Flukerson. I'll give you Damien's email address. He needs some pointers on how to play. As the
I
kids
need
say.
some help.
He was
You
like
wanna-
watching that, like, how's he doing? Oh, I should do. So I think he
Yeah.
needs some help from you.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to send us videos, please always do, because we love them and we'll try to show them here. Send them to me on Reddit. You can PM me. You can send them to me on Twitter. I'm Mr. Pope on Twitter. It was in my thing earlier when it was down here. It's not there now. Or just when you just post them in general on Reddit, we always kind of scan through to watch. So keep up the great work. And I wanted to give a shout out. I don't know if you saw this. I know
have
Roman
another
saw this.
question
Oh,
also.
there's a question. Let's do the question first, then we'll do shout out. So Voltman17 asks, you guys are going to add new stuff in Season 4. Busted. But 60 places in the inventory is not enough to keep the stuff that we want. Will you increase this limit?
So it's something we looked into, increasing the inventory limit, and it's not something we can do easily for performance reasons. So we're trying to find other solutions so that you can keep things you got or reuse it differently or things like that. No solution for the moment, but we're looking into it.
I've heard of some cool things they're working on that we can't talk about yet. That
could solve that.
sound cool to me.
Cheap tease.
Terrible tease. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Shout out to Archo or Arco Vax on the forums. This guy made a massive post of the entire lore history.
Yes. Actually, I read that one.
You read the whole thing?
Yes. And that's
Amazing.
fucking awesome. and
Yeah.
Actually, really useful.
It's basically a compendium of all the For Honor lore. So go to the For Honor forums if you want to check it. I actually stickied it, so it's right at the top in the general forums. Super good stuff. So keep up that good work too. We love seeing
Cool.
the narrative stuff, world stuff, any of that fan fiction even. Send it our way.
But yeah, that was really good. Thank you.
Cool. And that brings us to raffle time. So Fred's going to hit the raffle in the chat for winning a combat pack, I think it is. So get in there, and that's it for the show.
Cool.
Thank you guys for joining me. And we'll be back next week. As always,
Patch note.
Patch notes.
Some surprises next
week. A few
week.
surprises. Good stuff. And Eve probably won't be here next week.
No.
But,
no, he has to go back to France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for tuning in.
See you guys.
We'll
Thanks,
see you
Eric.
next week. Goodbye.
Roman is leaving.